This is Gene Montrestelle, and welcome to the Tapping Q&A podcast, recorded live to tape from Williamsburg in Brooklyn. This is episode 496, originally aired January 27th, 2021. Hi, everyone. I hope this finds you well wherever you are and whatever time of day you're getting a chance to listen to this. Every single week in the podcast, we answer the most common and uncommon questions about tapping and EFT so you can move past the basic recipe, master the art of delivery. You will learn how to find root causes faster, clear issues quicker, and have longer lasting results with your tapping. And today we're going to talk about being distracted and losing focus over the course of the day when you are working on important tasks. Two quick things before we jump into that. Number one, we have a free 10-part guide to help you to eliminate self-sabotage, which fits in perfectly with the conversation today, because those distractions are types of self-sabotage. If you go to tappingqa.com, click on the big blue button. All you need to do is enter your email address, and over the course of the next 10 days, every single day will give you another free tool technique that will help you to improve your tapping and take the action you want. Secondly, I wanted to send out a big shout out to all of the supporters of the Tapping Q&A podcast. Our most recent supporter, Aika, gets a special thank you this week. All of the supporters of the podcast get amazing gifts. A couple of weeks ago, I actually snuck into their inbox 56 tap-along audios, absolutely free. If you'd like to get all of the regular bonuses of supporters, feel good because you're making a difference so that other people can experience the podcast and get those little secret bonuses from time to time. All you need to do is go to tappingqa.com/support. And once again, I just want to thank everyone who's voluntarily supporting the podcast. On Friday, I was sitting on my desk and I was working on a project because of a deadline that is coming up, something that you will hear about on Monday, February 1st. And as I was working on that thing, I worked to music, and I have a number of different playlists that I like to listen to. And one of the playlists I listen to a lot is a playlist of music from the heydays of WHFS. HFS was the alt-rock station in Washington, D.C. in the early 90s when I was in college and living there. And so moving from Wyoming to Washington, D.C., all of a sudden having access to all of this amazing live music, which I didn't have in Wyoming. I really immersed myself in music. And so this music is really rooted in a special time. And as I was listening to music, this next song pops up in the playlist, and it's a song by Soul Asylum, a band that I liked, a band that I have not thought of since the 90s, but a band that I really liked, that I saw live, that I own their CD, I enjoyed them. And as the song pops on, I think to myself, boy, I wonder what the lead singer of Soul Asylum is up to. So I open a new tab and I click into Wikipedia and I'm typing Soul Asylum in so I can open their webpage and click on the link for their lead singer. And as I am doing this, I'm thinking to myself, wow, that is a really amazing distraction technique. Because you do not actually care about the lead singer of Soul Asylum, and whatever information you are about to discover is not going to improve your day in any way. Not that I don't care about this particular person, and I hope he is living a life that is happy and rich and full, but me knowing the details of what he has been doing since 1996 is not actually going to help me very much, particularly in the middle of a workday. And so in that moment, because I've been thinking about this a lot, I went, oh yeah, I'm trying to avoid something right now. And so what I did was I closed the tab, I set my timer for 3 minutes, and I made myself tap on being distracted and unfocused. And by taking those 3 minutes, it set me up for the next couple of hours where I was super, super productive because I was doing a task that I didn't necessarily enjoy. It was nitty-gritty details, not the fun, creative stuff. There's this new product that I'm about to release to you all that has so much amazing, great content, and working on the details of the back end and making sure everything works is not a great deal of fun. I can do it, and there was a part of me that just wanted to escape that. So if you are in a situation where you're working through your day and all of a sudden you find yourself distracted, you'll notice I didn't beat myself up. you'll notice that I didn't do anything super extreme, like disconnect myself from the internet so I wasn't distracted anymore. But instead, I just did some really simple tapping. And in those 3 minutes, I was completely clear. And so what I'm going to do right now, and you should tap along to this, even if you're not feeling distracted right now. What I did was this really simple tap along that made it really easy for me to return to what was going on. And by having this, you can go to the website, print out the script so you can have it nearby. If you've downloaded the Tapping Q&A app, which is free in the Apple iOS store and the Android device store, you'll have access to this all of the time, including the script, which is in the app. Again, absolutely free. So the next time you feel distracted, if you can't think of how to do this on your own, this will be really simple. So tap on the side of the hand, take a nice big deep breath. And just move from tapping point to tapping point, repeating after me. I recognize the fact that I am distracted. I recognize that there is a part of me that doesn't want to be doing this. And because that is the case, all sorts of fun things are coming to mind. Things I could clean up to make my desk easier to work on. Dishes to be stacked, laundry to be folded, YouTube rabbit holes to fall down. And I appreciate this sense of distraction is just trying to keep me safe. It's just trying to keep me healthy. Because whatever I'm doing in this particular moment, it doesn't want to be doing. Maybe it's really boring. Maybe it feels like I'm never going to finish it. Maybe it's really overwhelming. Or I'm having to look at something that I don't like to look at. And so this sense of distraction is simply trying to avoid all of those emotions. Is simply trying to keep me safe. And I appreciate that that's what it's trying to do. I appreciate that it's trying to keep me on task. But I also recognize the fact it is possible for me to release whatever emotion I'm feeling in this moment. To release whatever overwhelm is going on. Knowing that I'm not going to be stuck doing this forever. Once this is done, I can move on to the next thing. When I take a proper break, I can do whatever distraction I want to do. But in this moment, I want to be focused. In this moment, I want to be on task. I appreciate that the distraction is trying to serve me. And I recognize how it isn't doing that in this moment. I appreciate my system is trying to keep me safe. And I recognize it's just overfunctioning. Nice big deep breath. And so you can see, even if you don't have this tap along with you, how easy it is to turn it around. Again, under 3 minutes, you're going to be back at doing what you need to do. And if you get distracted 45 minutes from now, take another 2 or 3 minutes, invest in it, get yourself clear, and get back to work. Because for me, if I have to spend 3 minutes a half a dozen times over the course of the day to get focused, and it's typically not that many times, so if I do that, that's 20 minutes of tapping throughout my day, which is better than watching YouTube videos for 45 minutes or working in a way that I constantly am being pulled away from that. Because I find after doing 3 minutes of tapping like that, not only do I return to what I'm doing and avoid the distraction, I actually return to what I'm doing in a more productive way. And so it's not just eliminating the distraction, but it's setting me up to be more productive. So pretty straightforward, pretty simple. If you know someone who could use just a really simple bite-sized tip like this, please pass it along. The most common way people find a new piece of audio is from the recommendation of a friend. And even if they don't listen to it, you reaching out and saying, hey, I thought of you today, might actually brighten their day in a way that they don't expect and you don't expect. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, in podcast parlance, subscribe is always free. You can do it at Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, Audible, basically everywhere you get audio. If you search for Tapping Q&A, click on subscribe, click on follow, turn on the notification, whatever the button is in the ecosystem that you like to listen within, so that when a new episode comes out just like this, you get a notification, and it's super easy for you to listen, to tap along, to do a little learning. If you have a question, if you have a comment, if you have a topic you'd like us to cover at some point in the future, please let me know. I can always be reached, Gene, Gene, at tappingqa.com. If you're on the website, you can just click on the contact link. If you're in that Tapping Q&A app, which is free, which I talked about at the beginning of the show, click on contact inside of the app. You can send me a voice memo. You can send me an email. I would love to hear from you. For the Tapping Q&A podcast, this is Gene Montrastelli. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you real soon. Bye-bye. The Tapping Q&A podcast is copyright Gene Montrastelli Tapping Q&A. All views expressed by guests are those of the guests and not necessarily of Gene Montrastelli and Tapping Q&A.